Substitution and elimination. What is substitution? A method used to find an exact solution from two or more equations through finding one variable and then substituting it into the other equation. So you use substitution to solve each system of equations. Here in this example, I have two equations, y equals x plus 2 and x plus y equals 8. So I'm going to want to plug in one of the variables into one of the equations. So here I'm going to use y because it already has what it's equal to, which is x plus 2. So I'm going to take that x plus 2 and plug it in for y in the other equation, which would be x plus 2. So through that, I'm going to want to combine like terms, and well, basically I'm saying what we substituted that in, taking the place for y. So once you've done that, you can basically combine terms and solve for the remaining variable, in this case x. So we get 2x plus 2 equals 8. Basically 2x equals 6, and then x equals 3. So now that we know x equals 3, we can plug it into one of the original equations. In this case, I'm using y equals x plus 2. So now I take that x and replace it with 3 because I know that's what it's equal to. And I know that y equals 5. So through substitution, just that simple little step, I can get the answer to what the variables are. It's pretty self-explanatory. You probably already know it. So yeah, here you go. X equals 3 and y equals 5. Let's do another example. So in this new example, I have two new equations, 2x plus y equals 6 and y minus 8x equals 1. I'm going to first isolate one of the variables. In this case, I'm going to use y. So I'm going to take 2x plus y equals 6 and move the 2x to the other side so I can get y equals 6 minus 2x. Then I'm going to substitute that 6 minus 2x into the other equation. So it's going to be 6 minus 2x minus 8x equals 1. So I'm going to keep plugging that in and doing the math through that. You guys know how to do that. And I result with x equals 1/2. That's substitution. Now let's move on to elimination. What is elimination? Another method to solving a system of equations. Here, you get rid of one of the variables by adding or subtracting equations. You may have to multiply one or both equations by a number to create variable terms that can be eliminated. So let's try elimination. In this example, there are two equations. 2x plus 3y equals 34, and 4x minus 3y equals negative 4. So the first step is to find the value of one variable. So here in this equation, the y terms have opposite coefficients, so that 3y and then negative 3y. So we can just add the equations to eliminate that y, and then we'll already have an x. So in this case, I can cancel out those 3's, and I'll get 6x and 30. When I do that, I have to add all the other parts in the equation. So in this case, the 2x and the 4x and the 34 and the negative 4. So I know that x equals 5. Step 2. I have to substitute the x value into one of the original equations to solve for y. So here, I'm going to take that 5 and put it into 2x plus 3y equals 34. So 2 times 5 plus 3y equals 34. And when you do all the math of that, you get y equals 8. So x equals 5 and y equals 8 through elimination. So let's do another example. In this one, I have two equations. 2x plus 4y equals negative 10, and 3x plus 3y equals negative 3. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is eliminate x. In this case, I'm choosing that variable. So I'm going to multiply both of the sides of the first equation by 3 and both of the sides of the second equation by negative 2. So I can find a common variable, in this case 6, because the 3 and the 2 multiply to get 6x, and the negative 2 and the 3x multiplied to get 6. So once I have that, I can add the equations. In this case, I'll have 6x plus 12y equals negative 30, and negative 6 minus 6y equals 6. And I will be able to cancel out those 6x's, and they'll go away. And then I'll be left with 6y equals negative 24. And then I'll have y equals negative 4. That's my first variable solved. So then now that I have that, I can plug that into my next equation. So, let's erase this. I'm going to substitute that y value into one of the original equations. So now I'm going to choose the 3x plus 3y equals negative 3, that second equation. So there, I can take the 3x plus the 3y equals negative 3, substitute the y for negative 4. So I get 3x plus 3 times negative 4 equals negative 3. And I'm left with x equals 3. Once you do all the math, you all know how to do that. It's basic. And you're left with that. Y equals negative 4 and x equals 3. Through elimination. There you go. So let's discuss some common mistakes. Basically, the biggest mistake people run into here is doing the math wrong. If you follow all the rules of math from what we've learned and how you solve for a variable, you'll be okay. So just be careful, watch what you're doing. You'll be all right. So if you have any questions, you can definitely refer to Chapter 3, Section 2 in your book for more information. Thanks for watching this lesson on substitution and elimination.